Alrighty guys, what is up? Today we are back with Q&A number 7 on our weekly Friday Q&A series, and today we've got a bunch of questions from you guys, so this should be a longer video than what Q&A number 6 was. I got that was a shorter video in that, but yeah.
Thanks for the questions.
Thank you for the questions.
This should be good. You ready?
I am ready.
All right.
Alrighty, number 1. If you could turn back the hands of time, what age would you like to be? This is for both of us. So you can start.
18.
18. Why?
It was my senior year in high school. It was that point, and I had a fantastic senior year in high school. I just, a lot of people were aching to get out. I was having a blast, to be honest. And it was that time period where you could get away with. I was old enough to do anything, just about everything at that time, because the ages weren't 21.
Right.
At that point, it was 18. Okay, so the draft had just ended, so I didn't have to worry about that. So I'm aging myself. Let's see. I went to a small high school. Mm-hmm. We had like 450 kids in the entire school. That was 9, 10, 11, and 12th grade. We had a large graduating class. I had 140 something in my class. So, so everybody knew everybody. Mm-hmm. And the teachers all knew you and everything, and you could get away with just about anything. And everybody thought it was funny. Okay, so
fair enough.
So it was one of those. Plus, I was old enough to drive. I was dating. I had a part-time job, so I had money and all that kind of stuff, mm-hmm. right? So the cool part was, it was right at that time where there was really no responsibility. I didn't have to start adulting yet. Okay.
You're 18, you don't have to start adulting yet. Oh man, sounds like a dream.
I didn't have to adult until the next year. So that was the time of no responsibility. Okay, and I've been suffering ever since.
Yeah. All right, what age would I like to go back to? I'd probably want to be an infant, just so I could drive you up a wall, but I could poop, sleep, and repeat. And that's about it. And you have no responsibility. But I'm 18 right now, so I really don't want to go back in time to any other date, really. And I had no responsibilities then, and it was peaceful. Except for I was driving you and Mom up a wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. With crying at 2 a.m. just because.
Yeah. and it's been that way ever since.
Hey! So, number 2.
Yes.
What's one thing you have never been good at?
That's easy.
He can't whistle.
Whistling.
He can't whistle.
I cannot whistle to save my life, no matter how they explain it to me. Isn't gonna work. So I gave up.
For me, any type of real sports in general, and he can talk all about this in a possible later video. But any sports in general, that's why I'm in the marching band.
He was good in wrestling, and he wasn't good offensively at all. Defensively, nobody could beat this guy. They had a hard time actually pinning him, because
I would lose on points most of the time.
He would lose on points, but he very, very rarely ever got pinned, just because of some of the most idiotic moves that anybody has ever seen in their life. I mean, even the coaches are like, what the...
Well, see, it was
what did he just do?
Well, see, it was at the point where the coach said, if you need us during the match, stare at us and we will try to help you. I stared at my coach. He didn't do anything. And he pretty much just gave me the, what are you looking at me for, stare. So I'm like, fine. And I took it upon myself and he came up with some idiotic moves.
He came up with some very creative stuff that nobody had ever seen.
It kept me from getting pinned, though.
Referees had never seen them. The coaches had never seen it.
It kept me from getting pinned.
But so he was good at that.
All right, number 3, favorite childhood memory. Do you want to go first?
Go ahead.
Okay, the one that came up to me, or the one that first, that I first got, was running my bike into your car when I was, 10? Something like that.
I don't even think you were 10.
I don't even think I was 10.
But thank you very much for that.
But at our old house, there was, I won't say it was a hill, but it was it was a slight decline or whatever in the driveway that went down to the garage. And Dad was teaching me how to ride my bike. And he said, okay, so this is what you do to get started, and probably didn't figure I was going to make it very far and didn't tell me how to brake. So I went down the hill and went down the hill and kept going down the hill and ran in between his car and my mom's car that was parked in the garage. And I stopped, but he didn't tell me how to stop, so I didn't stop.
Yeah, thanks.
Your turn.
That car was loaded with a lot of memories.
Oh, it was.
So, let's see. Two things.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't decide between the two. One, every day after work, I would sit on our back steps, waiting for my dad to come home from work.
Okay.
And every day after working a hard day, and I didn't understand what a hard day's work was, and that he was actually beat, but the carpool would drop him off. He'd come up the walkway, he would put his briefcase down, and he would either throw the football to me. He would take like 15 minutes, and he would either throw the football to me or throw baseball to me, and we would just play catch. And that was it. He'd go in, we'd have dinner. He would disappear.
He would disappear for the rest of the night.
For the rest of the night. But I had my dad fix.
For 15 minutes
and
every
he
day.
did this every day. Which I really thought was pretty cool. The other thing as I was thinking about it was the she had and she was only probably 16, 17 years old at this point, but she was a fantastic piano player. And there were a couple of songs where we could play duets.
Okay.
She would play the lower things, and I would pick out the notes on the upper octave. But sitting next to her on the piano bench was pretty cool in itself, because I was getting to sit with an older sibling. And she would go ahead and she would play, and I would play. There was a song called I think it was called Heart and Soul.
Okay.
And you would see it on, if you've ever seen Tom Hanks in the movie Big.
No.
They had this at this store in New York. They had this huge keyboard.
Okay.
And he and this other guy were standing on the keyboard, and they were dancing on it, playing Heart and Soul. So you guys may know the song. She would play the bottom part, and I would plink out the top part. And but that was something. It's been in my head for
40 years.
Like try
50
plus
50 years.
So
I was being nice.
So anyway,
all right, number 4. Who would you cast to play you in the movie of your life? Owen Wilson.
I agree.
Owen Wilson.
That. You remind me of Owen Wilson sometimes, a lot of times. So I think that's a pretty good choice. This was a hard one as well, and I was thinking about Mark Wahlberg, but I don't have biceps that are hanging out to here. Matt Damon.
Okay.
For some reason, I think that he would do a great job.
What is your favorite dessert?
Oh, this one was easy, but I had to write it down so I'd remember it.
Snickerdoodles.
I forgot about Snickerdoodles. Oh man, I forget. Aside from being a piano player, my older sister Susan was a fantastic baker, and she would make me every year. She would make me Snickerdoodles, and there was nobody has ever. Your Grandma Sherry came close.
Close. Once.
The flavor was there, but Susan's love wasn't in it. Okay, and so I forgot about Snickerdoodles. I really did.
So I got the number 1. What did you put down for the number 2?
Peach cobbler from the Ambassador Hotel.
Okay.
It's best in the Southland.
Of course.
And why I thought about that was because I used to have a neighbor when we lived in the condos in Reston, Virginia, and they were from Alabama.
Okay.
Obviously, the Southland.
Right.
And she came over. This woman, we had no clue as to who she was, but she comes over, knocks on the door, and welcomes us to the neighborhood.
Okay.
Okay. And she was from a little small town in Alabama, and she made this peach cobbler. That was, I mean, it was fantastic. And we'd eat that, and I'd take the pan back, and it was like, and her name was Susan, by the way, too.
Yeah.
Susan and Shane, and I'd say, refill. And she'd make another one. She'd be saying, "Hey, just got done with one," and she'd go ahead and pull it out, and we'd trade pans and then come back. It was absolutely phenomenal. I have no clue as to how they made this. It wasn't like the junk that you get at Golden Corral or school cafeteria.
Yeah, school's disgusting. Yeah.
Fantastic.
And then mine, coming off of Thanksgiving, the one that's coming to my mind recently, it's just pumpkin pie.
It's good.
Yeah. All right. Number 6, what is your favorite ice cream flavor?
Cookies and cream.
Okay. I like either cookies and cream, mint chip, cookie dough, stuff like that. Right, number 7, what toppings do you put on pizza?
Pepperoni, pineapple,
Okay.
mushrooms.
Okay.
Depending on the mood, green pepper.
Okay.
And let's see, anything else. I'm sure you're going to remind me of something that I'm missing.
Sausage.
Anything else?
For you.
Whatever we can. I'll put it this way. However many toppings that your high school gets for every touchdown, that they score,
you get a free topping.
You get a free topping on a cheese pizza, and when you're getting 7 or 8. Touchdowns a game, if not more.
Yeah.
Then
it's gotten to the point where you can double up on your pepperoni, you can double up on your sausage, you can double up on this, because we just kept scoring and scoring and scoring, and that means the other teams were really bad.
So anyway,
okay, so mine would be probably pineapple, sausage, pepperoni, green peppers. Not all at once, but those are the toppings that I think I would choose.
No anchovies.
No, ew, gross. No black olives either. This is disgusting. No black olives. What is your favorite sport?
There are so many, because truly I like them all.
Mm-hmm.
If we're talking participation, I would say golf.
Okay.
Just because I know what it takes to actually do the things that those guys do.
That they do,
and I can appreciate it.
Okay.
Okay. Watching wise, Friday night high school football. Gotta love. There's just an electricity in the air.
Atmosphere.
Watching, watching TV, watching sports. College football, because they're in it to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's not they're making $10 million a year. Okay.
Okay.
So it's still raw.
Okay.
For the most part.
Right.
Okay. But then again, I get caught up in the World Series watching baseball. So, but I guess I'd say high school or college football. Okay. I think because that gets the juices flowing.
Okay. For me, I don't think I really have a favorite. I really just watch whatever's on. If it's the Super Bowl, you pick a team. If it's the World Series, you pick a team. If it's golf, you don't watch because it's boring.
He indulges me. He watches what I have on.
Yeah, but I don't really have a particular sport or particular team that I follow. That would be more you than anything else.
And I'm not going to pick a team. If you're asking me to tell you what team, I'm not going to pick a team. You will see if you go back and look at different Q&As or whatever, you'll see the sweatshirts that I'm wearing. Okay, so.
Number 9, what is your favorite book? My series of books that I would probably read would either be Harry Potter books or the 100 books or something like that. The 100 is a TV series. It's on Netflix. If you haven't watched it and you have Netflix, I suggest watching it. It's really, really cool. The books kind of follow up with season 1. I think there's 6 seasons out now of the TV show, but the books follow into season 1, and then the Harry Potter books
are Harry Potter books.
I mean,
yeah.
If you haven't watched those or read the books, where have you been for the past 20 years?
20 years.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I agree with Harry. I agree with Harry Potter. I enjoyed reading those. I don't read a lot of books, so the one though that did come to mind was The Shack.
Okay.
And it's been a long time since I've read that one as well, but I just remember really getting into it.
Right.
Yeah, it was one I just kind of forgot as to where I was. I was actually in.
Right.
It made me feel like I was actually in the book when I was reading it, and that's hard to do.
Yeah.
That's, for me anyway. That's hard to do. So.
Okay, and this week's question for you all. Since this video is coming out within the first week of December, our question for you guys is, what is your favorite part about the holiday season? We're coming into this holiday season, and we just want to know.
Whether it's the smell of Christmas cookies,
or the smell of Christmas trees,
or opening presents, or
whatever it is.
Maybe it's a childhood memory, in regard to it, whatever it may be, and it's the holidays in general,
right?
Okay, because I don't know who celebrates Christmas and who celebrates Kwanzaa and who celebrates Hanukkah or whatever.
That's why I said holiday season.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of holidays going around in this season.
Right. So.
All right.
Cool.
I think we're good.
Yep.
Alrighty, guys. So if you like this video, make sure to smack that like button, subscribe if you're new, and we will see you in the next video. Peace out.